Hey y'all, we're back with the second part of JJ's story. Part 2. I was not really ready. I was just kidding. Just kidding. Okay, but we're here. Here we are. So now what we're gonna do, we got through day 1 of the diagnosis. It's
Day
fun. It's fun. Because then it just starts rolling.
It really does.
Because she started making plans and decisions and asking a lot of questions. Research palooza, which I was not surprised about at all. I came through and helped clean out all her stuff.
Oh, that was a good day.
Was that the day after?
It was Saturday.
It was Saturday, so a couple days.
It
doesn't matter. It was a day or 2. It was
back.
very close.
It was either the Friday or the Saturday.
And she kept going, but you're so busy. I'm like, yes, I am, but you're my best friend and you got freaking cancer.
It was
Shut up.
So
that was probably one of the first things that she let someone help. And it was so fun because Amy loves organizing and cleaning out and taking home all the things that she didn't want anymore. And it's still happening. She just brought me a whole bunch of stuff. I'm like, yes, thank you.
Yes.
Okay. So with Lindy and Chuck, they introduced juicing to you.
Yes. And I do want to mention that. So juicing, Chris Wark, W-A-R-K, the Square One protocol. If you are interested in prevention, or if you're thinking as you're listening to me, yeah, but I'm not gonna be able to afford to do it the way JJ did it, look up Chris Wark and Square One, the word 1, Square One protocol. He offers it a couple of times a year for free as his ministry, but it's well worth the dollars to pay for it. So you have like a hard copy book, the digital, all the things to learn. There's a lot of great things in there. Not everything is THM compliant because it's juicing and a lot of vegan.
But who cares?
Right. But there's a difference in losing weight and long-term health and trying to stop cancer in its tracks.
That's
okay.
Right. Agreed.
And you can learn, even the sisters say this.
And I did 75% of the training and it was great. Like I'm glad I have that in my back pocket.
Yeah. I was able to have a buddy pass that because I paid for the program, I had a buddy pass and you could give it to one person and one person only. So I gave it to the health queen over here. So there's a lot there. Even the sisters, they learn from different things and, they take what applies to them and they go on to, if it doesn't all work for them, it doesn't all work for them. But I will just say there's no one right answer for everybody. Even what I'm doing, I'm pulling from lots of different things. Even when I was doing the juicing and the raw vegan salads and all that, I was still keeping in my brain Trim Healthy Mama, like, oh, this is a crossover. Oh, wait, where's my protein? And, you take what you can from each thing you learn from in life.
That's good.
No matter what it is. So don't throw out everything I'm saying because of finances or whatever. Take what you can. So after I learned about the juicing, the Square One, I'm kind of going through some things. I had decided, my husband and I had decided we were going to go to the doctor that Chuck and Lindy were using out of Florida. And because of telehealth, telemedicine, there's a lot of options out there, people. You don't just have to stay. We don't have the options I want right here in Mississippi.
No.
No. They are starting to become more popular, but there's options. So we had made that decision, but 7 years ago, another friend of ours was diagnosed with cancer. And I want to be sure I'm saying it right, and I think I am. She was diagnosed at stage 2 invasive lobular carcinoma. Now, mine is invasive ductal carcinoma, but still very similar. And when she was diagnosed, she started trying to find different care. She went to several different places. If I'm not mistaken, she went even out of the country once, but I could be wrong and I don't want to speak to that. But anyway, she tried lots of different things for about a year and her cancer progressed. And then she found Dr. Prather in Indiana. And we watched her at her worst and we've watched her fight through this. And she is an amazing testimony.
Amazing.
Just as a person in general,
for sure.
Her name is Joy, and she is
she
is a joy. She's amazing. But we watched her progress through her journey. And we've all said, if anything ever happens, I'm calling Joy.
Speed dial. Yes.
I'm calling Joy. And it was actually a couple weeks before I called Joy. And I finally decided I was leaving Chuck and Lindy's, and I thought, you know what? I need to call Joy before I make any firm decisions. And so we got to chatting, and my husband ended up getting to hear most of our conversation, and I hung up the phone with her, and he looked at me and he said, I think we need to go to Indiana. And I said, yeah, I think so. And so we pivoted, even right then that soon, from going to Florida to Indiana. And it was truly a blessing to be there. Lots of different things worked out.
How many times did you go to Indiana?
Well, I started at the end of November, and I just stopped 2 months ago. So this is September. So I think my last one was in June or July. Yeah. I think my last one was June. So I went, in the beginning, I was going every 3 weeks. Then we spread it out a little bit, and then we backed it off. So between 3 and 6 weeks, I was going to Indiana for 3 to 5 days.
And what were you having done there?
So Dr. Prather's practice is, it's a holistic integrative practice. So they use chiropractor, adjustments. They use, a meridian therapy, which tests the meridian points of your body. Don't make me explain it all. Just know that your body is an electrical system.
Right.
Okay. It sounds crazy, but it truly is.
Yeah.
And, there's ways to measure the points of energy in your body to see what's causing issues, what's out of balance, what's, not getting the feedback it needs from your brain. And if your body is fighting itself, maybe you have gut issues, maybe you have major inflammation in your joints, maybe you have, whatever is going on, maybe you have insulin resistance. If you have one thing wrong in your body, great.
Yeah.
But most of us have multiple things, and your body is trying to work on all these things at once. So the layman's way of me explaining it is Dr. Prather tries to bring all those things into alignment, so your body can focus on what it needs to focus on. And that's a good thing. And I'm not knocking his practice at all. If I needed him, I would be going right back tomorrow. Okay. There are things that he does, and he does well. And if anyone from his practice ever hears this, just know his staff is some of the best staff, the best amazing people ever. God really blessed me by letting me be with them in such a scary time. Red went with me the first day to meet them, but then another blessing is Joy and 2 other ladies from our community were actually in Indiana the first week I went. And so I got to go through that with them. But there were all kinds of things that just worked to bring a whole health, whole body in alignment kind of thing. And I don't mean just a chiropractor in alignment, but like he helped me find things about, insulin resistance and inflammation and some gut bacteria things. And those things can stop your body from healing because it's focusing on those things instead of this. This may not be too much of a danger zone because we haven't brought this up yet.
Right.
But my blood work is like stupid amazing when it comes to the cancer. Dr. Prather's numbers are a little bit more conservative than conventional. He likes one of your markers to be under 25. My highest marker is 12.
Yep.
So it's not a good indicator of what my cancer's doing. So my body logically could be focusing on all these other things and not really focusing on the cancer yet.
Right.
And so we learned a lot from Dr. Prather, and I'm very thankful for what we did there to get me started. But I had always said if after around 6 months or so, I wasn't thrilled with my progress, not necessarily because something was bad, but just maybe things weren't going fast enough. There was a test that Lindy and Chuck had told me about called the RGCC or Greek test. And it's basically a blood biopsy. And I'd always said, we might do that. It's pricey. So I had put it off. And so I reached out to them to kind of start finding some other options. But the travel was wearing on me. As much as I love to travel.
That really wasn't for fun. And she tried. Bless her.
Yeah,
She
wasn't.
did.
I mean, I was having 4 to 6 hour layovers all over the country because for the longest time, there were no direct flights. And then for a brief period, there was, and it was amazing. And then they took the direct flight away again. So I reached out to RGCC and asked for options in Indiana because I had the blessing of a free place to stay. The Sun Foundation offered cancer patients free housing. And so that was a blessing. But then my husband works in Houston and he has a work apartment.
Yep.
And it is a true blessing of his job because we have it year round. Whether my husband's at work or not, I have access to it. So they found me a doctor in both places, and I really resonated with the one in Houston. The idea of being there with my husband was nice. And even though the traffic and the drive is horrible, I can drive it.
Right.
I don't have to fly anymore. So we chose to pivot once again to Houston. So there's no right or wrong. There's no one thing only. Even if you are choosing conventional medicine right now, even if you've had a mastectomy, even if you've had a lumpectomy, if you've done chemo, radiation, you can always pivot and do things differently, or you can bring things into kind of like a combo. My doctor actually has a lot of people doing both right now.
Wow.
I just had, if you see my lovely little mark,
I was like, what's that?
Nobody's beating up on me. We had trouble with IVs just this past week. One of the ladies there getting an IV while I was this week, completely bald. Her and her husband were there, and I didn't get a chance to visit with her or talk with her, so I don't know her story. They chose one of the rooms that set off a little bit more. I'm not sure if that was for immune response kind of things,
Sure.
or just because she was going to be there for a really long time and just didn't want to be out in the main room. So because some of the IVs can last 3 and 4 hours.
Wow.
So she might have just liked the tucked back space. I probably will choose one next time. But yeah, so that my doctor does lots of different options. There's lots of options. But something we skipped over, and I need to touch back base just because it is important. I did choose to have a biopsy.
Right.
When I met Dr. Prather and we looked at my blood work and it was so good, and then he examined me, he's like, okay, your blood work says no cancer, but that's cancer. Like the physical symptoms of my breast clearly scream cancer.
Oh, sure.
Yes, she's seen it. There's a few people that have seen it. Get your bestie that you can do those kind of things with. You know,
and I talk about anything with anybody all the time, so really not a big deal.
yeah, we've been through lots of life together, and that's okay. So anyway, he basically insisted on a biopsy. I had decided at that point I wasn't going to do one, but when my blood work was so good, it was kind of like, then I had the hope of, could this just be a freak thing? Could we be wrong? So I chose to do a biopsy at MD Anderson. One, because it's MD Anderson. Like, they're the gold standard, right? Not really, but anyway. But they're in Houston, and my husband is in Houston. And bless his heart, he's my person too. And the thought of being able to be right there with him, if we chose any kind of surgery, treatment, whatever, I could be right there with him. So we went and did that in December. And I actually got the official diagnosis on my birthday. I even told them, because the biopsy was December 4th, and I told them, do not hesitate to call me with this just because you know it's my birthday. Like, I think I have cancer right now. So at this point, you can't tell me anything worse.
Right.
So they did. They called me the morning of my birthday, and it is invasive ductal carcinoma, grade B. They would not give me a staging at that moment. So we followed up.
Where were you when you got that call?
I was at home.
You were at home. Okay.
Yeah, I was at home. So, yeah, because all we did for my birthday was dinner.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And I brought you pink flowers.
Woo, y'all, that's a whole story I don't even know that we have time for. Just saying, if someone in your life has breast cancer, do not assume, and this is not what she did, but do not assume that pink flowers or pink ribbons is going to be the thing for them. And I got something to say about the pink ribbon thing, okay? But anyway, my husband is supposed to only give me white roses.
Listen.
And when he went to get my roses that day, they had pink. And he didn't think a thing in the world of getting me pink roses. And it flew all over me. Number one, because he's only supposed to give me white. White roses were in my wedding bouquet, and that's what he has given me for 28 years.
Why change it red?
and he brought me pink, and it was a little, I hate the word triggering, but it was. And then I show up to our birthday
It wasn't
dinner.
a little, guys. Wasn't a little. This was Mount Everest. Is there one bigger than Everest? Kilimanjaro? It was big. It was maybe them together. I don't know, but it was big. And then I'm like, well, shucks. Because we have best friend bracelets, and my stone is pink and hers is purple. And so I got her a little flower arrangement for our dinner. The flowers were pink and purple because I'm pink and she's purple. And I knew about this pink flower
After she had ordered them.
debacle. And I went, the pink's for me. The pink's for me. Has nothing to do with breast cancer. Who gives a crap? The pink's for me. I'm sorry. And then Red's like, I don't know that he heard the whole conversation, which is probably good. So
Yeah, it was. So just know that. Just know that.
Oh my stars.
Woo. Anyway, so I get the biopsy done. If you heard in the last thing where I said I had multiple doctor's appointments that I left in tears, it wasn't because of the cancer. I knew I was going to beat this from day one. Can't keep a good dog down. There you go. Well, it was the medical teams that I was dealing with.
Right.
Typically in a biopsy, they are going to insert titanium markers in your breast so that they can find it later. Well, my reasoning is if they can't find a tumor in my boobs, it ain't big enough to worry about. I didn't want titanium left in me. It's just one more thing for my body to not recognize and fight. No.
Right.
No. If you're going to do the biopsy, which I was extremely worried about because biopsies have been linked to what they call seeding, which means as they pull that needle out, they're going into the tumor and pulling stuff out. It can spread.
Yeah.
It can leak.
Yeah.
Basically. Good word.
Thanks.
So I didn't want it, but I was praying the whole time. But then when I refused the titanium markers, the radiologist was very rude. Very rude. And of course my husband couldn't be in the room with me. So you're back there by yourself. And I finally just told her, I said, if it's that big of an issue, just don't do it because I'm not signing consent for it. And I said, I'll go somewhere else or I just won't have it done. I didn't want to have it done in the game.
Right.
And so she finally did it, was very rude and snarky to me the rest of the appointment. And when she left the room, there's an ultrasound tech, I guess is the right terminology, that was in there because it's ultrasound guided biopsy. And the ultrasound tech looked at me and said, I agree with your decision.
Wow. And you were in Houston?
Yeah, I was in Houston, MD Anderson. And I said, well, I shouldn't have to fight like this.
Yeah. It's your body.
Everybody
else
gets
gets to choose everything for their body.
Right. Educate me on why you think it's necessary, but then the decision should be mine with respect. Especially when you talk to me and I can cite studies and why I'm choosing to do it the way I'm doing it. But anyway, so I did have a biopsy. They did say it was invasive ductal carcinoma. But then when I did my follow-up to meet the oncologist and the surgeon, because we wanted to know the whole plan. That was one thing from the beginning. I promised mainly my parents was that I would get both opinions, natural and conventional, so that if things didn't work in my favor, they would know I had made an educated decision. We had checked everything. So we go back for the follow-up and basically left that appointment. My husband and I looked at each other and said, we'll never come back here. They refused to give me a stage because I refused surgery. I refused surgery that first day because they wanted to do a lumpectomy, which would basically, I mean, y'all are talking about breast cancer. Yeah, I'm sorry, it's a boob, it's closed. Basically straight across the breast, across the nipple, take the nipple and the tumor. And then I would, if I wanted that reconstructed, I could have reconstruction later. And then radiation and chemo after that would most likely happen. Maybe not radiation, maybe just chemo, but they would have made that full determination after the lumpectomy. And I said, well, I need to know what stage I'm at to make a true decision. And she said, no, I'll do that after surgery. And I said, well, I'm not doing surgery without knowing. How do you make an educated decision without all the information?
It's like they're withholding it.
Yeah.
About you.
I said, said, and I even said, I said, ma'am, if you have to say, I think you're a stage 1, but you're close to a 2, and I won't know till I get in there. If you want to say, I think you're a stage 3, maybe a stage 4, I don't mind you giving yourself wiggle room, but just give me a basis for where we are. Like, am I stage 4 about to die and I want to just say, screw this, I'm going on around the world tour with my kids? Or am I stage 1 and I have time to make decisions? I had recently, right before that, we had another friend who had been diagnosed with DCIS, and she had made a different choice, but I had learned so much from her. So I knew things about DCIS. I knew things about stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4. I had firsthand experience from multiple people that was guiding my decisions, and they refused.
Well, have you ever been staged?
No, they won't stage me. And the only way I can get staged is to have another biopsy. Now, here's a cool thing.
Why?
Because they have to have that slide. They have to have those results. So here's a cool thing. At my new doctor in Houston, there is a test. I went there because of RGCC testing. We'll get back to that, but I decided not to do that after talking with this new doctor. We did a test called Tempus testing. My phone spells it wrong every time. So just Tempus. I think it's TEMPUS, I think, but I could be wrong. Anyway, they can request the slides from MD Anderson.
Oh, nice.
Interestingly enough, they have to keep the slides for 10 years.
Wow.
It's a little freaky. We're having trouble getting those slides because MD Anderson doesn't like to share, but by law they have to. So eventually we'll get those results. But yeah, so we are going to have another company look at those tests so we may know a little bit more, but I'm kind of hoping by the time it's all said and done, it doesn't matter. So just know there's lots of hiccups along the way when you're trying to do it this way. Had I gone into MD Anderson wanting to do what they wanted, I would have signed up for a lumpectomy. Then I would have left her office and met with the, she was the surgeon. I would have met with the oncologist and found out what he was thinking about chemo. And then what the plan would have been if things changed after surgery. And I told her, I said, I'm not ready for that. I'm not ready to sign up for that. I need to pray about this. I need to think about this. I said, I think I even want a second opinion. I said, can you just tell me, do I have time? Do I have time to make that decision? I said, I want to be sure I'm making the right decision for me. And she went, oh, you got time. Very nonchalant. Wow. Oh, yeah, you got time. And when she did that, I looked at my husband and I said, okay, hold up. I know DCIS is not what I have because that's stage 0. That's DCIS. It means it's fully encapsulated. Okay. And she just looked at me and I said, so stage 1 is very probable because y'all said you don't suspect lymph involvement. So that would be stage 1. I said, stage 4 is metastasis. Well, if I don't have lymph involvement, I don't have stage 4. Well, stage 3 is close to stage 4. It's lots of lymph involvement. You've got some crazy stuff going. So I'm not stage 3. Stage 2 is lymph involvement, but contained. So
you're 0 or 1.
Well, I'm not 0.
Not 0.
Because that's DCIS.
Oh, I see. So you're 1.
Right. I went, so I must be 1. I kid you not. For those of you who are watching this, because it's on YouTube too, right?
Yeah.
She did this. And just looked at me. And I thought,
well, this patient has a brain.
Like, do you know that if you go into your doctor's office and you ask them about a specific test or a specific medication and they're not familiar with it, do you know how they find out? They use Google. They use Google. It's called PubMed. All of the white papers that are studies on the medications, on different breakthroughs, they're on PubMed. You find them on Google. Pub means
public. Yeah.
So I can research. Now, we need doctors. We need nurses.
Absolutely.
Y'all, my son-in-law is a nurse. My sister-in-law is a nurse. I have got some of the sweetest, most precious friends in the world that are nurses. I truly respect these different people. My daddy is a kidney transplant patient. I can't do that with herbs and tinctures, okay?
Sure.
I have respect for the community, but they need to learn to have respect for us. That is my story. Amy shared this in the first one. This is my story. This is where I'm at. And you will understand why I struggle. Because I just wanted to be educated. I wanted to know where I truly was to make an educated decision. Because if they had told me stage 3, I might have been like, I really don't want a lumpectomy. but maybe I should.
Yeah.
And let me tell why I don't want a lumpectomy.
Okay.
So with a lumpectomy, mastectomy, or any other kind of tumor removal, there are some cancers that they say are better to just cut out and be done. And I can agree with that for certain things. But for the most part, what studies are showing us is your body already has circulating tumor cells. My body knew I had cancer before I did. Okay. Before the doctors did. So your body is already forming a response to it. It may be forming a response like with me. Well, like, okay, it's not that big of a deal yet. We're aware, but we're going to work on other stuff. Or like my precious friend that just passed, that found it and was gone within just a couple, felt like days, but it was, a couple months. Her body was already forming a response to it. And it was a massive response, okay? Because her cancer was very advanced when they found it. Your body has those circulating tumor cells. They're everywhere. Amy has cells in her body, okay? That can be cancer cells.
Right.
You do too. Every one of us does. It depends on what your body does with them. When you remove that tumor, once it's formed, those cells that are already circulating and forming responses,
They start looking for it.
they start looking for it. And it can cause issues elsewhere.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow. I know you've told me that before, but.
And any of you who are more educated on this than I am, if I'm wording this wrong, don't eviscerate me in the comments. Okay. I am very much a layman's term, and I'm trying to speak on a layman's terms level.
Yeah.
Okay. But it is just the way things work. And that is the main reason why I've chosen not to have it removed, because I am early stage. And I feel like my body created this and my body can heal it with the right tools.
Good.
Okay.
Because you're a grown woman and
Yeah.
you can make that decision for you.
I can.
And as we've said already 11 times, you do you.
You do you.
You do your own thing.
You have to have peace. And I think I said this in the
That's
first
good.
one, so
Yeah.
I may not, I want to say it again just in case you don't go back and watch the first one if you stumbled across this one. My doctor just shared a statistic with me that 30% more effective, whatever you choose, chemo, radiation, surgery, medication, herbs, tinctures, diet, whatever you choose, if you believe it, if you have confidence in it, if you have peace about it, it's 30% more effective.
That's amazing.
So if you decided to do another form and you had peace about that, I'm so thankful for you. I'm thankful for your peace. I'm thankful for the knowledge you had at the time that led you on your path. But this is where I am. And a lot of what I'm dealing with comes from an injury that my son had from a medical treatment in 2011. And we won't touch that topic today because it's a completely different topic. Mm-hmm. But it is what has led me to where I am, to have complete confidence and peace in what I'm doing. So while we're on that, I want to share a couple of things. There are ways that you can educate yourself. There is a great docuseries called The Truth About Cancer. I knew about that long before I was diagnosed with cancer.
Didn't you have dinner with the authors?
Yes, the producers. Yes,
sure.
Well, Charlene, Ty wasn't there, but Charlene Bollinger.
That's fancy, JJ.
It was so much fun. It really was, because of some local advocacy work that we did. Our group, Mississippi Parents for Vaccine Rights, a few of us Mississippi moms, went to DC to lobby. Probably 2016
I don't know.
ish.
I can't keep up on my own self.
Look, COVID wiped out 4 years. I don't know.
No joke.
I don't know. I can't keep up. But we did. We got to go advocate there and lobby at the Capitol in DC. And while there, Charlene Bollinger, who is one of the producers, invited me to join them for dinner. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm with 4 other women. And they went into it. Make that happen. And so we got to go to the Trump Hotel right there in DC. Long before Trump was president, just saying. So whatever year he became president, it wasn't that year. I don't remember.
It was before that.
It was before that.
Oh, that's funny.
And yeah, so I got to have dinner with, so I've met these people. But it's a great docuseries. You can probably find access to it. It's called The Truth About Cancer. There's also, he was there that night too, Dale Bigtree. Mm-hmm. Dale Bigtree with the High Wire.
I still don't think I've ever met him.
I don't think you have.
Oh,
But Dale Bigtree
he
with,
don't care who I am.
bless that man, he's a little busy.
He don't
But you can look up thehighwire.com, or ICAN, which is the Informed Consent Action Network. That is a great group. They are all about medical news freedom, medical freedom news, however you want to say it. They want to give you the information you need to make any decision
That's awesome.
about your health and your medical freedom that you need. It's a great series. My son did work for him for a little bit. So these are great resources. Dr. Prather that I saw in Indiana, I cannot remember the name of his podcast, but he shares amazing information. If you look up holistic integration in Indiana, you can probably find his website with a link to his podcast. And then I did mention Chris Ward, WARK, or the Square One Protocol. Educate yourself.
Yep.
My friend Lindy that I mentioned, she felt like cancer was going to impact somebody she knew, and she was going to be ready.
And it was her husband.
And it was her husband.
And then her.
And then me. And she has held my hand through so much with learning about this kind of stuff. So educate yourself. Statistics, conservative statistics say 1 in 8 will be impacted by cancer. But the real statistics are actually 1 in 2.
Wow.
1 in 2. Yep. I'm an empty nester. I don't have babies at home anymore. If it had to be one of us, I'm glad it was me. I'm very thankful this happened after I became an empty nester, because it's extremely expensive, whichever route you go. Whichever route you go.
And that's not just money expensive either. I'm just saying.
No. No, it takes a lot out of you. Emotionally, financially. Oh my goodness. Okay, never mind. I needed that. Never mind. Sorry. I've got notes on my phone, but my husband was texting me too.
She's worried about that fan.
I am worried about that fan. He's supposed to be buying me a ceiling fan today. He hasn't left the house yet, so I'm good.
Oh, okay.
So, educate yourself. Statistics are extremely high. We do not live in an organic Adam and Eve Garden of Eden.
Well, yes, if we did.
Hey,
I wouldn't be listening to a podcast.
no,
Right? That's not funny.
no. But educate yourself. Take care of your health now. I want to talk about that prevention, because there's other things I can talk about a little bit more about, like, well, I got a big old boo-boo on my arm. But let's talk about some things that you can do. You can hire a health coach. That's a good one in case you need one.
And I've helped several women with the cancer.
Not just because of cancer. I'm talking about prevention.
Oh, I see.
Because here's the thing.
I can do it.
Let me see. When did I send you that picture? Just the other day. What was oh wait, we don't need Camp's video. This one, here it is. Oh, I didn't send the year. So I'm not going to show this picture, but it was around 2016. Because there's a lot of other people in this picture. I wonder.
Yeah, we can crop it.
Okay.
Good grief, Jennifer.
Let's see if we
Put
can
it way up to the green dot.
Okay. See if y'all can see that. I'm too far back. Okay, there we go. That was me at my heaviest. That was me. Okay.
What do you remember? What size pants you were wearing?
20 or I think I needed a 22 and I refused to get it. So it was an 18.
I was an 18, but I needed 20.
It was, some sizes are like 18/20, but I refused to buy one that was just a 20. And I probably needed more than that.
Wow.
So my body, my cancer is environmental. We know that it's not genetic. Don't show that top picture. I hate that haircut. It's the haircut. I almost text you this.
Oh, we showing it. We gonna show it.
No.
Darlene's gonna put it right there between us.
No.
We'll pick a different before.
Yeah, a different before. Because there's plenty to choose from. I actually saw that picture this morning and I thought, I almost sent it to you and said, best friends aren't supposed to let their friends have hair like this. It was bad. It's bad. But what I'm wondering is, I had a pixie cut, and I'm wondering, I mean, could I have still been growing out that pixie cut? Because the pixie cut was before I met you. But I'm telling y'all, it was this short.
That's terrible.
It was bad. But anyway, educate yourselves. Take care of your health.
Yeah.
Whether it's
hire Amy.
Keep
going.
Yeah.
Yep.
If it's Trim Healthy Mama, if you need a coach, if it's just getting off the couch. I'm not where I was, guys.
No.
But did I take it as seriously as I could have? No, because now I know even more about what I could have done. One thing I wish I had done years ago and I knew about, and I'll give this health coach a shout out. Completely different realm of health coaching, but I'll give her a shout out. Erin Crawford with wait a minute, I know her for real. So what is,
I don't know, I can look her up. I have her. She's great.
Innately Nourished is one of the names, and I need to directly. Anyway, I think it's Innately Nourished. But Erin Crawford is her name. I've learned so much from her, and for years she has been touting the amazingness of the Dutch hormone test. Y'all don't waste your time with some of these others. Get what you can get, but if you can find a practitioner who can work with you and understand something that is as great as the Dutch hormone test. I have learned more about my hormones just this last week with this Dutch hormone test. It blew my mind away. They were able to tell me things.
Innately nourished.
Innately nourished.
Hashtag.
Yeah, good
See
deal.
it.
Yeah,
that's what
awesome. I have known her through some advocacy work. I actually met her in person for the first time in DC. And so
I love following her.
She shares some amazing things, a whole different realm of doing things than what Amy does. But she's really smart. She's great. She's just been a true inspiration for me with the way she shares things. And she's kind of a bulldog like me. So she doesn't sugarcoat anything, and I love it. She's gonna call you out on your stupidity. And so she's very much a tough love person. But I learned about the Dutch test from her, but I never really did it. I just did my hormone test with my doctor, and that's fine. That's what she had at her disposal. But I've learned so much more. So get some really good testing. Know what your body's going through, whether it's menopause, perimenopause. Don't assume. I have assumed for the last few years that I was in perimenopause. Nope. I am menopause. And because my BFF is who she is, I'm going to share my results with her and let her give me her opinions too. I've got to get those downloaded. But quit delaying taking charge.
Yes, because can I say something?
Sure. Yes.
Because time is going to pass anyway.
Absolutely.
Oh, my chickens.
Yeah.
Jennifer.
Yeah.
Just a couple weeks ago, this lady, she found me on the YouTubes.
Oh.
And do you know how Darlene found me? Just on YouTube?
No.
Isn't that crazy? She ain't got the Facebook. She anti to social media. Sorry, guys.
They say YouTube is a great way to find things like that.
So anyway, just hopeless and tired of being sick and tired, and didn't know. She just didn't know how to do. She knows that salads are a great idea, but how does someone sustainably get healthy? Because she just didn't want to eat salads all the time. And I'm like, I couldn't really tell you last time I had a salad, so I got you, boo. But yeah, it's just that. And then bringing in my goal structure, I guess you would say, is get your food straight. Then we'll slowly integrate walking. Then we'll talk about weightlifting. I'm not going to change everything that goes in your mouth and tell you to start lifting weights. That's just my approach. We've got to get you resting. We got to get you chilling out. We got to get you hydrating. And there's a different way to put that together for different people. And I think I'm doing a pretty good job. But yeah, I can help with that for sure.
Absolutely.
And I mean, you don't have to do one-on-one coaching for that.
No,
but it's
just do something.
Do something, guys.
I mean, I'm not where I was. I shared that picture. I mean,
get your head out of the sand.
Yeah. I mean, I've been a Trim Healthy Mama coach. I've lost a lot of weight with Trim Healthy Mama. I know the plan, but could I have done things not even talking about taking Trim Healthy Mama more seriously? I mean, I've done that well. I'm talking about finding, I think if I had done this Dutch hormone test 6 years ago, I'd be in a completely different place because I filled out the intake form as mild to no anxiety. I felt like I was handling my anxiety well.
I could have told you no. We have not talked about this.
So
we're not gonna.
I'm a control freak.
Yeah.
I'm a control freak. And that makes me a great caretaker and a great person to help you when you need it. But that's what she does all the time.
All the time. You gotta calm it down. And she'll like me saying that.
No. Oh, don't say calm down.
But shh. That's okay.
But
it's who God made you.
It is.
But it's still something that has negatively affected your body.
Well, there's ways to handle.
Yes.
There's ways to handle things.
And the more you know.
The more you know. That's what I'm getting at. The more you know. Because the people who do the hormone test had a consult with my doctor. She does not specialize in hormones. So she goes a step further and has a consult with them about my results. So she doesn't miss anything, which is amazing to me.
Do you know how much the Dutch test is?
No, because I spend a stupid amount of money every month. No, it was pricey, but I don't know.
Yeah. And you have to go through a practitioner because they need to read it. Is that right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that's something you can just do yourself, but I don't know. I have no idea.
I have never had a Dutch test because I didn't have ovaries, so I didn't have squat anyway.
Yeah. So I've learned a lot through that. They were telling me things about the gut, but the consultant actually asked my doctor if she'd seen my intake form, and she's like, no, they fill that out. It goes straight to you. And she's like, well, you need to tell her what anxiety looks like because she doesn't think she has any. And my cortisol levels are
normal. Are they normal?
Oh no.
Oh, they're not. Okay.
Oh no. They're way high.
Okay.
They're way high.
I was wondering if some things had contradicted each other.
So I don't look like I'm estrogen dominant, but I am because one of the others is hiding it.
Yep.
But
estrone probably.
What'd you say?
Estrone.
That's not the word I remember, but it might be called multiple things. I don't know. We'll discuss that off screen because that'll eat up time. But what
Got about 10 minutes.
Okay. But what I'm saying is, if I had known things more about my health, like through the hormone testing or through I've had stool testing with like for gut stuff. If I had known those things 6 years ago, it would have helped me implement things that would have helped my weight loss quicker, that would have just turned things around sooner. So don't wait till you're at cancer. If you already are struggling with your weight, or maybe you're struggling with insulin resistance or your blood pressure or whatever, take it seriously now. Decide. I am not stopping until I have the answer to everything.
Right.
And turn it around now.
And that's part of what I see so many women, they don't want to take time for themselves. They feel guilty. They can't slow down long enough to even take a bath.
Yeah.
And chill out in the bathtub.
Yeah.
Much less schedule a doctor's appointment with tests and follow up and da-da-da.
And money.
I get it.
Yeah.
And I get it. But it's to what end?
Right.
Are you going to die at 40 because you've not taken care of yourself?
Yeah.
And oh my gracious.
And I'm not mad at anybody in my life for leaning on me, because that is who I am. I want to be that person, but I have taken care of lots of things. I go running when people need me. That is who God made me to be. And I am happy to be there. I'm honored to be there, to be by my friends and family when they need it. But there's been a lot over the years, and apparently I haven't processed that and managed it well. I'm learning that now. No is one of my favorite things to say now. Not today. Not today. Yeah, my phone doesn't make a sound before 8 a.m. I've never been a morning person. I don't feel a bit of guilt about it. If you need me before 8 a.m., you could get me, but you'd have to put some effort in it, and you would know it better be serious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I've just I've put little boundaries in place. I had a friend come in recently, and she got started on her way earlier. And when I realized she was going to be to my house about an hour earlier than I needed her to be there, I let her know, no, ma'am. I did. And I know she's listening to this.
You're going to have to wait.
I did. I let her know, I'm sorry, I need my time outside. I cannot have you arrive before this time. I love you. I want you to come. Keep coming. Slow down. And she did. She took the long way around, and she slowed down.
I love when a woman speaks up for herself.
I'm learning.
It makes me a happy coach, Amy.
Yeah. It makes everybody else in our lives happy too, because expectations are awful. And when you have unmet expectations, it's because you didn't communicate well. Whether it's, your husband buying you pink flowers and triggering a whole set of emotions he had no idea he was tiptoeing.
We've been talking about that a lot in the couples group coaching we're doing. That's some good stuff.
Yeah, but you have to tell people.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I felt tremendous guilt for this. My mother texted me to see if I wanted to meet for lunch. I went, no. home at 11 o'clock Tuesday night from the doctor from being gone for a week, getting poked and prodded. No, I wanted to stay home.
Yeah.
Not yesterday.
Wednesday.
She wanted me. I love my mother. My mother's amazing. I know she's going to hear this. But I couldn't. And so what I told her was, Mom, not today. I said, unless something's wrong, I need to stay home. And she said, okay. Because she knew it wasn't that I didn't want to spend time with her.
Yeah.
Because she's forever telling me I need to slow down.
And another thing, like I teach clients, when you're overwhelmed with whatever, saying no is great. I call that delete. I say delegate and delete, because you could be like my boys in the morning. Wes and I literally could sit on the couch and not move. And my boys can get their breakfast, get dressed, get their crap together, and get in the car. Sometimes we have to say, hello, let's eat a little faster.
Yeah.
But I don't fix their food for them. When we're having supper, when we're ordering at a restaurant, they do that themselves. I have delegated. They do their own clothes. Like they, all my kids, we've delegated tasks. I work full time. I don't know how you people do it that work full time outside the home and then take care of all your 9,000 kids and your husband. Y'all gotta start delegating.
Well, your goal is not happy kids. Your goal is productive adults.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Now,
ma'am.
If you have a good home life in the meantime, that's great because there's love in the home. But that doesn't mean you take everything on you.
And you're the doormat.
My husband will
We didn't plan to talk about this.
No. My husband will do just about anything I ask him to do, but God bless him, he can't read my mind, although after 28 years he should.
I know, poor Wes.
He
On my
should.
coach-iversary, I said, hey, Lily, do you know if Daddy is doing anything for me for my 5 years of owning my own but successful, amazing business that I did my own self? And she went, I don't think so. I said, will you please text him that I would like one of these two things, please? She went, yep. Blah, blah, blah. And he did.
He did it.
Because he
just
hadn't
need
thought
to know.
one thing about it. Because I celebrated at dinner with friends and he was like, oh, check that box.
Yeah.
And I'm
She
like,
did what she wanted to do.
oh,
Right.
no, that box was not checked.
Needs to be checked by people.
That's
But
right.
that's part of taking care of yourself.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's hard. If
Delegate.
you've never done it. It's hard.
Delegate,
you can.
take things off your plate, slow down. Kudos to you for changing up your routine with the
Thanks.
whole CrossFit thing.
Yep, big deal.
That doesn't mean that she's going to quit working out. It just
Nope.
means she's changing things.
I did Serene's 45 this morning. Yeah, I need a gym.
Yeah.
But I'm not. I just made it work.
Yeah. So all of those things don't wait until you get to where I was, because
Yes.
while I was doing things for myself and for my health, I wasn't as hardcore about it as I could have been. I would have much rather been hardcore learning different things 10 years ago and avoided this altogether.
Yeah.
Because for me, mine is environmental. It means things like the toxins in our home, plastics, candles, laundry detergent. Y'all quit using Gain and fabric softener.
What laundry detergent do you use?
It is something I can get at Walmart, so it's not
Really?
as clean as others, but it's one of the free and clears.
Okay. I have indigo, oh heavens. Indigo something, but it's the patchouli laundry detergent. It's
She gets me close to her. all the time.
VUM. So we have a friend, her name's Lauren, lives around here, and like you can smell her. Like if I'm in Walmart and she has been where I am then, and I know she was there. And I'm like, I'll text her, are you in Walmart? And she's like, yeah, did you smell me? I'm like, I did. So anyway, I think she uses like 4 times because I don't think my stuff smells near like hers. But anyway, she uses it and I've been using it for a long time, but we use free and clear too.
Yeah.
That's
So,
me.
I used to try to order some
Indigo
different
Wild.
things.
Indigo.
I used to try to order some things and it was just too much. And I got something, it was one of the free and clears. There's a couple.
There are.
I can't remember if mine is the all or one of the other brands.
Uh-huh.
But anyway, it's a free and clear, but I use vinegar in my fabric softener.
Oh, good. Yeah.
And I started it because my husband's clothes were stinky.
Yeah.
Because he likes to get outside and work all day in the heat and sweat. And
Okay, so tell me how you do that, because Wes has been buying the blue stuff because it smells and it's starting to really get on my nerves.
No.
I know.
Wes Gaskin.
No. He
Okay.
ain't gonna listen to this. Go ahead.
It's okay. So does your washing machine have a fabric softener
Yes.
dispenser?
Yes, we have it's like a spaceship. my
Yeah.
washing machine.
So just pour the vinegar into the
White vinegar.
Yeah.
Got it.
Distilled
I even
vinegar.
got a big jug of it.
Yeah. I do it for every load.
How much?
I just fill up my dispenser.
Okay.
Because there's an indicator.
Okay.
So my husband's machine at his work apartment, it's just a more basic with an agitator. In the middle of the agitator,
Yep.
his has a dispenser.
Yep.
Some people don't have a dispenser. Guess what? They still
Pour
sell.
it in there.
Well, no, they still sell the Downy ball. You remember the
yeah.
Downy ball that you would
Yeah.
pour and you'd plug and you throw it in the washer?
Yeah, and it'll like
You can still buy those and it'll still pop up,
Brilliant.
pop out, and yeah.
Look at that.
So yeah, and vinegar is known to kill mold spores.
Stupid mold.
Yeah, and that's something. So any little thing you can do to improve the environment of your thing. Really quick, because I know we're getting long.
We are. It's okay.
I want to run down a few things that I am doing actively.
yes, please.
Let's
Sorry.
finish that out.
I was getting excited about laundry detergent.
I know. Well, it's all together. We live in a toxic world, and you need to recognize that. Quit feeding your kids crap. Quit eating junk.
Preach it.
And clean up your environment. Quit using plugins. First thing I do when I get to an Airbnb is walk around unplugging
Their air fresheners.
their air fresheners. Yes. So, my doctor in Houston, okay, she is amazing. The route I'm taking is extremely expensive. Okay. Let me think.
Are you comfortable saying what extremely expensive is?
Sure, yeah. No, so I don't do numbers. My husband does numbers. And before we switched to this doctor, we were doing flights, rental cars. We did have to do some hotels before we got the blessing of the cancer house, plus all the treatments, supplements, all that kind of stuff. We were spending on average $3,500 a month.
It's really not that bad.
It's not, but most people,
Can't do it. I get
including
that.
us,
I get it.
can't take a $3,500 a month hit without really feeling it.
Right.
So our retirement goals have changed. Our debt repayment, we were almost paid off the house, and all those extra dollars were,
It's your life.
yeah. I have felt tremendous guilt. Tremendous guilt because my husband wanted to come home at a certain time from offshore. And I'm choosing a very expensive route, but guess what?
You too are choosing it.
Yes. He is very much in support of me doing this. He feels very much peace with doing this. But it's a fact that I think about. But if you choose chemo, radiation, surgery, and you have insurance, you have tons of copays, and it doesn't pay for a lot. You have deductibles you have to meet. Most people don't have a great cancer center
Policy.
right there next to their house or a policy. You
Right.
still got travel. It wipes you out. You can't work.
This girl ain't stopped. I'm just saying. How's JJ? I'm like, she's at Disney World living her best life. I didn't go again.
Yeah. I had already paid for an annual pass, baby. I am taking advantage of them $25, $50
Hiking in Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
Going with me to New York. We're going to Georgia.
Yep. I don't spend money on my nails, my hair, I don't spend my
Travel
dollars.
is her hobby.
I don't go to Starbucks every day. There's lots of things that I don't spend money on that other people choose to. So my dollars are redirected, but we're spending a little bit less right now.
I was going to say, so what's the difference between Indiana to Houston?
Well, I'm not having to pay for flights. I'm not having to
your
pay for a
hotel.
rental. I mean, my rental car was about $350 every time I went.
Golly.
Just the rental car.
And you get to stay in your car that you
I
love.
get to stay in my car that I love. I get to stay with my husband that I love.
In an apartment that she's slowly decorating.
Yeah, but keeping it very minimalistic, because y'all minimalistic, clean your house out, get rid of the crap. It's amazing. It's amazing. But so like one of the things that I do, and I want to run those down real quick. One is Ebu, and it's $1,250 each time I do it. And it is basically a blood dialysis that uses ozone. A little freaky for me because my dad was on dialysis for 6 years. And so that's a little freaky. I don't have a port anywhere. For Ebu, we use the main arteries, vessels, whatever they are. I'm not a nurse. I don't care.
I would say veins.
And yeah, there you go, veins. That's a good word. We use the main veins here. I'll have one going in, one going out.
Wow.
Can you put up pictures? Can Darlene add pictures to this? Because I have a picture of it.
We can put it in the Facebook post.
Oh, cool. Anyway,
And in the email.
if she chooses to do that.
We can put it in the email and the Facebook post.
Okay.
Yes.
So I have a picture of me doing the Ebu. And it's basically a dialysis machine where the ozone hits the blood, and then it also goes through a UV filtration light. So it's really a cool thing to help get any parasites, any junk out of your blood. There's like a wastewater collection at the bottom. And the first time, y'all, there's not supposed to be things that you can see to the naked eye. And there were things you could see to the naked eye. It's supposed to be microscopic only.
That's crazy.
So yeah, that's insanity. So I think I have one more session of that. You can do it multiple times, but there are actually alternative doctors who do this treatment for cancer who will not do any other treatments on you until you do this first.
Wow.
So
isn't there a place you said in New York that was very well known for this?
Yes, and I don't know their name, but they're in New
okay.
York. So basically, cancer can form this protective shield around itself.
Right.
Okay. And the EBU helps break that down.
Wow.
So anything else actually can get to it.
Wow.
Versus it just having to
kind
fight.
of like the blood-brain barrier, how that can't go. Oh, wow. So you're breaking that down.
Yeah. So you're breaking down that shield around the cancer. So any other things you do is more effective.
That's amazing.
So I do that. I also do a mistletoe therapy. Yeah, 100% kissing under the mistletoe. There is a very specific way that they have to process the mistletoe, and it is usually done subcutaneously in your belly through injections that you do for yourself. They can also do it intratumorally, and they can do it through IV. There are some doctors that do it in tinctures orally. My doctor is very opposed to that. She said it's too hard on the liver and it's not a process she is a favor of. So see, even doctors disagree on things.
Right.
So we had started me on injections across my stomach, and my reaction was, you're supposed to have an immune response to it. Okay. It's supposed to be about quarter size. It's supposed to look almost like a bee sting. Quarter size. It's a little itchy, a little uncomfortable. You go on.
Of course, you.
Yeah. Mine got about this big around.
Bless it.
And itched for a week after I stopped.
Wow.
And then at one point, I had red all the way across my stomach. And she wanted to inject that into my tumor. And I went, nope, not today. But here's the crazy thing. So my bruise is, turn my arm. My bruise is actually from that mistletoe. They do it in IV now for me. But they put the mistletoe dose, which is like, I don't know how many times, I can't math. I'm doing 200 milligrams through IV, where I was only doing 2.5 to 5 milligrams in injection.
Oh, I see.
Okay, whatever the math is. But through IV, through the whole bag of saline, it doesn't bother me.
So it's kind of diluted, but you're still getting the medicine.
Yeah, and I'm getting it at a much stronger dose, and it's going everywhere, and I'm not reacting to it in a bad way.
That's good.
So mistletoe forces an immune response in your body. That's why they wanted to do it in the tumor, because it's like, oh, let me get to that. What's it? But I'm a little scared to do it just because of my reaction.
Gotcha.
So we're doing that. But now we're doing it with hyperthermia.
Yep.
Not hypothermia. Hypothermia is when you fall into a frozen lake and your body starts shutting down because it's too cold. No, hyperthermia.
We get hot in here.
Way hot. So the goal is to have a fever of about 105.
Jennifer.
For 2 hours. Yeah. So here's the crazy thing. My normal body temperature is about 97.3 to 97.6. So the first time we were able to get me pretty high. We were able to get me to 103, but we couldn't get me higher.
How long were you at 130?
I don't know. The whole session's about 2 hours. I don't remember.
And that is to promote healing in your body.
Yeah.
To fight.
He can kill cancer cells.
Wow.
Absolutely. It's a detox.
Right.
But there is studies to show that heat can kill cancer cells.
Wow.
So it's like a twofold kind of thing. So the first time I did it was horrid. The second time I did it, it was bad, but it wasn't as bad.
What was bad about it?
The first time, so you can have hallucinations.
Did you have hallucinations?
I did not. Thank you, Jesus, for protecting me from that, because I did pray for that. But I did have a very intense emotional, like complete. Ended up.
Knowing you.
I needed it.
You needed it.
I needed it. It ended up being almost a 2-hour therapy session with my doctor and her. tech.
So is she in there? I know she's in there during the EBU. Is she in there during the hyper?
The first time
that
she
right?
was hyperthermia.
Okay.
Yeah, the first time she was because I had never done it, and it's you need to be monitored. I have a blood pressure cuff. I have the pulse oximeter. They check your temperature
And that's
every
probably
30
why
minutes.
it costs more too, because you're tying her up.
Yeah, you're tying up the doctor the whole time. That's why EBU is so. She is literally sitting next to you. She never leaves the room for 2 straight hours. So I have all my questions lined up, and I am
picking her brain.
It's fabulous. It's fabulous. But yeah, the hyperthermia is it's intense. The second time it was bad as far as like the heat, it just gets so intense. The way we do it, it's this I have a picture of it, but it's basically these panels that they put around your body. You're laying on a table and only your head is out. And so you've got the IV in you, you've got all this, and the IV is done at the same time with the mistletoe, because mistletoe raises your body temperature.
Okay. So you're doing 2 things at once.
2 things at once. Yeah.
Sorry.
So no, that's okay. So yeah, so that's going on right now. And it's intense. It's very much intense. I had asked several ladies to just pray for me at a specific time, and the last 30 minutes was rough. And I had Bible study just that week before I went around the table in my head praying for each lady and what I knew about her family. Wow. Whether she'd ask for prayer or not, because I needed something to get my brain
refocus.
And I mean, yeah, I could pray for myself, but it was like, Lord, you know what I need. I need to think of something else. I need to think of others. And that helped me get through that. But this last one, I was doing okay, but then the last 20 minutes, the tech had come in. They were in and out since I had it. She's like, do you want me to stay? I'm like, no, I'm gonna make it, but I'm ready. I'm done. I need out, but I'm done. I can make it. And she's like, okay, I'll just be right down the hall. Just call out. I can hear you. And I'm like, okay. And the second she stepped out, and the door was cracked so she could hear me, I almost called her back in. I thought, nope, I need her. And I'm just praying, Lord, I get me through this. And the next thing I know, she pops her head back in. She said, I think I'm just going to stay in the room
God
with
bless
you.
her.
And I started crying.
She needs a present.
I said, how'd you know? She said, I don't know. I just felt like you just needed a distraction. And so we chit-chatted. It's hard because it's a lot. And so we checked, and they only got me to I think it was like, I don't think we got me to 100. I think it was 99.9, 99.8.
Wow.
And it was rough, but my body temperature is extremely low to start with, and I was soaked.
Wow.
You're drenched. It's nasty. But it's a huge detox. We need to detox our bodies. Ladies, if nothing else, go sit outside. If you live in the South, it's still hot enough. Go sit outside.
Detox for everybody.
Go sit outside at the hottest part of the day. Get you some vitamin D. Quit slathering sunscreen on yourself. Get vitamin D detox.
And you have a hyperbaric chamber at home now.
No, that's a sauna.
Oh, sauna.
Hyperbaric is oxygen.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
Yep.
I do have a sauna. It's just a El Cheapo $200 sauna off of Amazon. We have a great sauna here locally, but I wasn't able to get there often enough, and she wants me to use it daily. So, yeah, I'm doing that. And then,
how long are you in it every day when you're home?
If I'm home and I'm doing it every day, it's supposed to be 30 minutes every day. There are,
and it just plugs into a regular outlet.
Yeah, it just plugs into a regular outlet. We just got it put together, so I'm going to start using that today. I haven't, we had some issues getting it all set up, and then I was gone for a long time. So, but yeah, sauna. And then the last thing I'm doing at the doctor, other than supplementation that's very specific to me, I'm doing IV therapy, vitamin C, high dose, 50 grams in the bag, which is a lot. I actually got sick toward the end. I did not throw up, but it came really, really close. And something I did not know is we do not add glutathione. Glutathione is so good for you. Cancer can use glutathione just like it can use sugar to grow. Get you a knowledgeable doctor. I didn't know that, because every other person that I saw getting IVs, because some people just get these IVs just for general health and wellness. They have other things going on, and toward the end of their bag, they would add the glutathione to their bag. Not me, because when she came to flush my saline, she said, and this is not glutathione.
Wow.
Because she knew I was worried that they would forget.
Wow.
I did not know that. So you have to get somebody knowledgeable on your team for whatever you do, but seek a second opinion.
Yep.
Find some sources of encouragement, inspiration. Stand up for yourself. The number one thing I have learned is you have time. With Chris Wark's program, there is someone on his team that is following statistics of 20-year survivors. Wow. Chris Wark is a 20-year survivor. In 20 years, I should have grandkids.
He had colon cancer.
I believe colon was his. And he did choose to have the tumor removed. Colon cancer is one of the ones that most people choose to have the tumor removed.
Well, yeah, it might block things up.
But he did say that he wishes he had waited on that. Wow. But of course, it's hard to say anything.
That's right.
Backwards. But just know that unless they're telling you you have stage 4 metastatic, you're dying in 6 months, you have time. Even if it's stage 3, you have time, at least enough time to go home, sleep on it, pray about it, and maybe seek a second opinion. Yeah. Because let me just tell you something. You think, oh, it's going to take me months. When I called MD Anderson to get my appointment, which I did not need a referral to, by the way, I called and made that appointment by myself.
Wow.
They got me in immediately.
Wow.
So don't think you don't have time. That I want people to know they have time. I want people to know that changing their nutrition is free.
Yep.
There are people on this Chris Wark's protocol that's all they're doing is changing their nutrition, and they're seeing major results.
Wow.
You know, there are so many things you can do for free, but take care of your health now. I've told this to my children. They're 21 and 25. Take care of your health now, because some of my blood work shows that I have forever plastics, forever chemicals in my body. That means quit using fragrance, quit using candles, quit using perfume and sunscreen and toxic garbage crap on your body. Your skin is your largest organ.
Yep.
As Amy says, I go to Disney quite often. Y'all, that's in Florida, in the sun. It feels like the surface of the sun. And I go for several days at a time. I never use sunscreen anymore. I get out in my pool.
And she a fair maiden.
Yeah, I mean, look
Yeah.
at that skin.
She got, I mean.
See, well, I've been tanning.
You have
So,
been. And,
but,
and
yeah.
since she's not using that mess or seed oils, and
Mhm.
not at all of them are not bad, but that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's completely crazy when you quit doing the things you think are right.
Yeah.
So thank you to Amy for letting me
You're
come.
welcome.
We are going to do a part 3 when we get the all clear.
Yeah.
Because I want to share anything else I learned along the journey. This will be on YouTube.
Yep.
This will be your podcast. They
Yep.
can't comment on the podcast though. How do they do that?
No, it'll be on my email. It'll be on Facebook. It'll be on Instagram.
So if they comment on Facebook or YouTube or somewhere that there is a place that I can respond, I will. But I'm going to ask y'all to respect my boundaries. So no, I'm not your doctor.
Yep.
And I can't answer every question.
She's given almost everything.
Yeah.
So go back, rewind it, slow it down, and make a note.
Yeah, make a note.
And look it up on your own.
Yeah. I mean, if there's something I can answer, I want to be a source of help for other people, but just know that I don't need you messaging me with all the love in your heart to eat more broccoli, because I know that. Honestly, the comments and the questions are why I haven't done this to this point. So I'm asking for you to.
And she doesn't need your opinion.
No, I really don't.
We're just gonna say that.
I really don't. But I need your love and care and your support. I cannot tell you the number of people who have reached out to me that I didn't even know was following me, that have reached out to let me know they were praying. So I appreciate that from the every minute of my being. I appreciate that. But if you have a question or a comment, think twice, type it, think twice, and then hit send. Because it is a lot. It is bombarding, and we both want to be a source of help for you guys. But I do ask that because I will read all the comments. I won't be able to stop myself.
Yep.
But if you're salty, I'll just delete it.
Yep. Darlene will do that for us. She's so good.
Yeah. But I do. I love the opportunity, and I'm very thankful for it. So
welcome. You did it.
I did it, and I'm doing it. I'm very happy. I will say this is closing. The doctor thinks from the time I started with her to the time that I'm in remission with this new protocol will be about 6 months, and we're several months in. So we're hoping right after the first of the year.
Stuff.
Oh wait, no, I can't stop. 2 seconds. Let me get my note. There's some testing. Where's my note? hang on, I wrote it down. There are some things that you can do. Prenuvo, that is a new type of scan that is out there, that is available, that is not radiation, non-toxic. QT imaging, QT, the letters, QT imaging. And then Her Scan
That's what I get.
ultrasound.
That's what I get.
So Her Scan is an ultrasound company that's going around. They kind of travel, that is giving people the options for ultrasound.
Takes 5-10 minutes.
You may not know this, but there are some hospitals, including our local one, and yes, I'm calling you out, that will not do an ultrasound without a mammogram. Now, we have 2 local hospitals. The north one will. The one in my county will not. And I'm very upset about that, and I'm actually working to get that changed because it's not fair. If a doctor orders a test, it should be done.
Yep.
There are reasons that even doctors don't want both. If you are in a situation where you can't find a location that does just ultrasound, because I see that all the time on all the cancer groups that I've joined, look at Her Scan.
Yep.
It's an
It was
option.
great.
So I wanted you to know you have options out there specifically for your boobs, but the Prenuvo is one that will do
The
a
full
whole
body
body.
scan.
They do both, but I'm fixing to do a full body scan because with my doctor's discount, it's as cheap as the torso one
Wow.
because I'm her patient.
Does she do it there? Or is it somewhere
It'll
else?
be in Houston, but it's not at her clinic. But yeah, so I'm fixing to get that done, so I'll be able
Very
to
good.
share. But I wanted y'all to have that information before we
Good. Thanks.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. Good. Thank you.
It's long.
You did a great job. Thank y'all for listening and respecting her wishes. Bye, everybody.